Hello, hello, and welcome, or should I say ho, 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 Christmas cousins. I'm Cousin Chad.
And I'm Cousin Seth.
Oh my gosh, there he is, Cousin Seth. Cousin Seth, this is always a family affair when the two of us are on here. But today we have something very special. We have a follow-up episode to our wildly popular series, My Favorite Christmas Ever. We have, of course, returning guest and fan favorite, Joe, the Christmas Aficionado. Say hello, Joe. They all love you. The audience loves you.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. But Seth, did you know Joe doesn't exist in a vacuum? He has a family of his own, not just the Christmas cousins. He actually has siblings. And we are going to meet today because we're going to go back into a mysterious tradition that Joe, when he was first on the show talking about his favorite Christmas ever, it was a bit of a stumble, boff. He forgot one tradition, and we're going to bring his brother in who's going to help us clarify things. So I want to welcome you, hopefully new fan favorite and an aficionado brother. Amazing. Anthony Aficionado, welcome to the Christmas Cousins. Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Already a fan favorite. Yes. Did you get nervous with a live studio audience, Anthony?
A little bit. I mean, it's intimidating, the lights and everything, but no, it's good. You know, I'm feeling good, and I am Anthony Aficionado, and I have the power of alliteration behind me, so I'm better than my brother, the Christmas Aficionado.
That's right.
But I'm here to keep him in line. Yes.
Yeah.
We love alliteration. We love all literary devices on this show. We did a whole episode on automatopoeia, Anthony, that you should go back and listen to. The sounds of Christmas. It's really fabulous.
I will download.
Yes. Thank you. You've already raised the level of this show. I like that. Seth, look up alliteration. Okay.
I am. I had to. As I was looking it up, my posture straightened. I noticed
You know who loved a good alliteration? The original Batman, Adam West. Right?
Yes.
He was like the one who popularized it, I think, in pop culture. But speaking of pop culture, so like I said, we have here a cozy, joyful episode filled with some brotherly banter, some nostalgia, and holiday warmth, Christmas cousin style. That's right. Yeah, here we go. That's feeling like he's back at the Jersey Shore. Anthony, that's a whole other story.
I heard this on the episode that just aired around the time we're recording, and I was like, "Oh, Chad's got some new music. He's got to play." I knew that was coming. I was waiting for it.
I love it. Yes, you know how I operate. What I lack in talent, I make up for in sound effects. So that's what, and when I have a new one, it's like a kid with a new toy on Christmas morning. I have to play with it. So anyway, Joe, last time you were on, we went over my favorite Christmas ever, where you took us back to growing up in Pittsburgh, wonderful Christmases as a youth with your family, but you forgot something. So we're bringing your brother on to set the record straight on this mystery tradition, because Seth and I don't know what it is, that made your childhood even more magical. And I want to see if this is something that our own beloved seasonal sophomore Cousin Seth can now add to his festive plans. And maybe some of the Christmas Cousins listeners will pick up some new holiday inspiration. Now, Anthony, I don't know if you know, we're up to 24.6 million daily listeners. Seth hand counted them, so it's pretty accurate. Yeah, write that down. It's pretty accurate. I saw him take off his shoes when he got above 10. So he's I'm pretty sure it's good there. And with all those people behind it, I'm thinking some are going to be inspired by the Aficionado brothers, which we're also thinking of making some dolls made out of you guys, some ornaments, things like that. 'Cause we market everything here, right, Seth?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you know, I guess your microphone sucks.
Yes, it does. All of a sudden it's cutting out. Oh, no.
No, really? You're losing me?
Oh, well, we're going to roll. Let me turn it down a little, Seth. That's amazing. You get better every episode, Seth. Let me say something now.
Oh, anything now? That's amazing.
You sound like Robert Kennedy Jr. Are you doing that on purpose?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Seth, don't make fun of him, Seth. The man has a condition. Seth, that's just wrong.
Give me 1 second.
Maybe unplug and plug back in. It's okay, Seth. We're only 158 or so episodes in. You'll get it.
Yeah.
So
anyways, what I was going to say is that, you know, now that everyone knows I have a brother, his name is Anthony. I call him Tony, but I'm the only one who's allowed to do that. So
I was warned.
Yes. If you hear me call him Tony, it's only because I've known him since he was born, and he was Tony when he was little. Anyway,
and you're his bigger brother, so you.
And I'm his bigger brother, and I'm not changing. So you know,
Right.
Anyways, yeah. I mean, we may start the Christmas Aficionado brother podcast and then competing with these cousin guys. I mean, we got to get a taste of that 24 million. So,
yeah, right. That's true.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, let's get to where I was talking about. So
yeah, because you don't want me to mention my Jersey connections again. You can compete with us if you want to compete. I'm just saying.
Oh, Seth, we can't even hear you now.
That's great, Seth. It's effective as you were when I did a show earlier without you on air. That's fantastic. What an asset. Anthony, do you want to become a cousin by any chance? Are you available?
I am. I'm between podcasts right now, so yes,
okay.
I do.
Because I have an opening. So Joe, go on. I'm sorry. We digress.
So when I did the first very episode where you were talking about your best Christmas ever, you actually approached me, I think the day of, and said, "Hey, can you come on and jump on and we'll talk about your favorite Christmas?" And I was like, "Sure." And then I had to think about something real quick. There's a tradition that we have in our family, and it's not when we were young, it's now that we're older. So I focused on, the stories of, growing up and getting G.I. Joes and Transformers and all that stuff that I talked about being in the 80s, because, that was the best time period for anyone who's a Gen Xer at this point. But there's tradition that we do now that we're older and that we all have kids. And it came about because my dad used to do a tradition with my mom. He would, when he buys presents, he creates what he would call a theme. And so he would pick a theme, and then those presents would all fall into that category, whatever he chose. A lot of times they never made sense. And truth be told, half the time the presents didn't really seem to fit, but he would always say he had a theme. So we were just like, okay, that's like his thing he does every year, whatever. I think Tony and I would.
What is an example? What would be a theme?
So growing up, we had a Dalmatian dog, a beautiful dog. He was a Dalmatian mix, but and so one theme my dad came up with one year was Dalmatian. And so everything was Dalmatian themed. Do you remember this, Joe?
Yeah.
He bought this giant Dalmatian statue that was kind of scary, and then he bought a raincoat. It was this bright red fire engine red raincoat, and the liner was the Dalmatian spots. And Mom put this thing on Christmas morning, and she looked like Cruella de Vil. She looked so mad, that she had this thing now. She was gonna get two-toned hair and start stealing puppies. She just it was pretty awesome. But that would be one. And Joe's right. Most of the years, it was he would forget about the theme and it would be kind of haphazard. But that one year, he really stuck to Dalmatian, and everything had spots. Everything
and she hated this. My mom hates it.
My
mom hates the themes. So whatever he would do this and stuff. But that theme gave Tony an idea when we all started getting married, because we all got married. Getting presents for each other, we have a younger brother named Mike. He's married, and so it's having to buy for 4 or 5 people, for each of us. It's just got to be too much. So Tony, why don't you take the idea came about, because it was inspired by my dad's gift giving theme to my mom.
And what year is this we're talking about?
We're talking probably 2002, 3, probably.
Okay.
And it came about, and Joe, I don't know if you remember this, but Mike and I back then, we didn't have a lot of money in our 20s, and we were buying all these gifts for 5, 6 people, and we tried to make you a leg lamp one year, and we almost set the house on fire when we were trying to wire it up. Because the leg that we got from the department store was not a traditional mannequin leg. It was a styrofoam, really hard packed styrofoam leg. And trying to wire it up, we not only melted the leg and the fishnets, but also probably our hands, and then
gosh.
So after that, I decided let's rethink this. Let's rework how we're doing Christmas. And so I came up with the idea of not only a gift exchange where we pick a name out of the hat and you buy for that one person, but let's pick a theme as well. And so you have to buy in according to that theme.
Okay. I like this. I like where it's going.
Yeah. So that probably started about 15, 20 years ago, early 2000s, when we all started getting married. And then we just kept doing it. And it's evolved over the years. Now we do where it used to be one central theme. So everybody had to buy according to that theme. Now we do, you pick a person and then you pick a theme. And so we have 6 different themes. And now it's kind of.
And who comes up? So who comes up with the theme each year?
So we each we write down themes on a little piece of paper. We always do this on Christmas Day. So we open our presents, and then after that, my mom gets out the baskets and we little pieces of paper, and we all write our names on it and throw it in the basket. And then we have another basket for the theme. So we each come up with a theme, and we throw the themes in the basket. And
is it anonymous who does what theme? Because I would imagine, knowing you guys from what I know already, it'd be pretty obvious. Like Joe's theme would be like beer, and you'd be like American literature. So it would be.
Yes, yes, my mom will pick out the theme. She'll fold up in little balls, and then and then pull it out of the basket and then read it. And you can always tell exactly whose theme it is because Joe has been well trained by these Hallmark movies that he's been watching. They're always like very like warm and seasonal and like gift baskets for your favorite season, and they're all like really, and they're very thought out. Like they're really nice. And then we have a younger brother who's like a woodworker and an artist. So he makes everything.
Oh, wow.
Think like Owen Wilson's character from the first Meet the Parents movie. Like very annoying. Like in that movie when Owen Wilson like hand carves a wedding chuppah and he's like, hey, I'm a carpenter just like Jesus, right? Like he's like that. He's annoying. Like he's annoyingly talented and he builds everything. And he's like, yeah, I just like a picture of your newborn son when I,
this is Mike Aficionado.
This is Mike Aficionado.
Mike Aficionado, yes.
How do we get to book this character? Sounds like Michelangelo Aficionado.
Every theme is like some thinly veiled like way for him to just make something. It's like outdoors, and you're like, come on. So you can just whittle like a piece of wood for us, like, and my wife is in sales, and she's very like cards and cash. That is her theme. She puts in every year, cards and cash.
Really?
She just wants, give me a card.
Everybody
cash
loves
in
it.
Yeah. Every year she's like cards and cash. Cards and cash.
That's true. It's a gift that no one argues with. Seth, is your mic? You want to say something? Because is your mic working? Let's hear you real fast.
Yeah, I don't know. Am I back in?
Yeah, it's very choppy. What are you doing differently than normal? We'll just workshop this live on air. I can hear the radios speaking out live, Seth.
Nothing. You really can't hear me? Is it all right? I sound all right. I'm gonna log out.
Maybe try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am just destroying this beautiful story.
Log out. It's so bad.
This is going as well as it always does.
I'll jump back in right when you get to the time you put the dog to sleep.
Yeah, wait. Now it sounds good.
That part sounded great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me talk about the tragic underpinnings of your youth growing up together.
There you go.
So let me clarify.
Good now. Okay.
Let me clarify some things that Tony was talking about here.
Right.
So we open gifts on Christmas, and then we pick the theme for the next year, the same day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you have 365 days essentially to figure out what you're going to get somebody for the next year.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it the same theme for everyone now, or is it a theme per person for which name you get? I'm confused.
Correct. So it used to be one theme for all 6 of us. After the pandemic, we kind of got bored, and now it's each person gets a theme. So like this year, I got Joe with the theme cartoons and comics, which is super easy. And
for me,
I got like a present for you like 2 days ago. Yeah, like it's super easzy.
So you can get a theme. If I'm choosing a theme for myself, then I can get one that suits me, obviously.
But my mom has to pick it out of the basket. So you're at the mercy of our mother who selects the themes out of the basket. We don't
Oh, okay.
So
a theme intended for one of you may not necessarily Yeah, I could get
Correct.
stuck
Mhm.
with the
So we picked.
little-
There's six people. There's 6 themes. So the
Right.
themes for this coming Christmas are cartoons and comics, gift baskets, organization, the 90s, coffee or other hot beverage, and movie night.
You did the 90s, Joe.
I actually don't
Or
remember
movie
what
night.
I did.
It's almost a year ago.
I think
that's
it was.
so
I think
funny.
I think mine was movie night. Actually,
Right.
the more I think about it, I have our youngest brother Mike organization, and his theme
A
is
Renaissance man.
organization. The organization I know came from his wife because she likes to be organized and very clean and everything, like detailed and everything. So she chose that horrible theme that I now have to buy a present, and she knows I hate it. I have to buy that a present from our youngest brother that falls into the theme of organization. So
That's where it gets tricky. Okay, cool.
yeah, and so Tony has me cartoons and comics. I know he's going to
That's
come
the
up.
easiest one.
Truthfully, here's the thing. Tony and I both love it when we get each other because we are the easiest people to buy for. We know him and I know each other. I know what he wants. He knows what I want. Our youngest brother is the worst to buy for because nobody wants him because he's never you give it to him. And even though you think this is the greatest gift in the world, he will tell you, it's
Really?
okay. Yeah.
Does he have a wood
Oh.
chipper? Does he put it in a wood chipper if he doesn't like it?
We should probably start doing that because I think
He might
that
just
would make it a
whittle
lot
it.
more fun.
Right. He might just whittle it into something else.
You know,
he's got a room at his old house, at his house, with all the stuff you've gotten over the years,
and
repurposing somehow.
And I think we should probably go through some of the presents we've got over the years. But truthfully, Tony and I and my Mike, we all love this theme game. We love picking the theme the day of Christmas. We love, like speculating what we're going to try to figure out, what we're going to get each other for the next year. Our wives all hate it.
Really?
My wife hates it. His wife hates it, and our youngest brother, Jill, she hates it as well. They all hate it. They do it. But they just they dread coming up with a new theme. They're like, why are we thinking about this now? This is a year away. But that's what's fun about it.
Is it because they want carte blanche to do whatever they want, whatever gifts
I think they
come
would
throughout the year?
At this point, I think they were into it for a while, but I think at this point, we've been doing it for 15, 16 years. We've had everybody at least 3 or 4 times. We've all bought gifts for somebody that we think they're going to like. And then, sometimes the gifts are spot on. Sometimes they're, not as great.
Does anybody ever mess with each other with a theme? Like you could put like Chernobyl and just see what they come up with.
Well, yes. Okay. So let's go into some of the themes. Okay. So there was one year where I had my youngest brother, Mike. And as Mike said, he is an artist. Okay. And I can't remember what the theme was. I think it was creativity or something like that.
Yeah, it was creativity.
Okay.
Creativity. Okay. So our youngest brother, Mike, as you learn, he's a woodworker, he's a painter, he's an art teacher. He's really into everything. He's really good. I can't deny that he's not good. Yeah, he's a very talented guy. So a few months before Christmas, this was this was probably what, 2015 maybe. Yeah, I had grown a really long beard, like it was really long, and he jokingly said to me, he goes, "Your beard would make an amazing paintbrush," and I was like, "Oh," and as soon as he said that, in my head, I was like, I am making him a paintbrush. So what I did, and what I did was I cut my beard, and I formed it into a paintbrush.
Oh my gosh!
And I gave him other things. I didn't just give him this. Like I actually bought him some nice stuff and everything. I don't remember what the other stuff was. But
Seth, how are you not gagging at the thought of a human beard paintbrush?
So
I'm thinking of the Jackass movies and where they
so he opened this gift and he picked up the paintbrush and he's looking at it and he's like, "Oh, it's a paintbrush." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's going to be the best paintbrush ever." And he goes, "What?" And I just started going like this. And he's like, "Oh my God." And he literally dropped it.
He like dropped
and,
it.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like, "That is disgusting," and my sister-in-laws were just like, "Oh my God." My parents were like, "Oh my God, our son gave our other son a paintbrush of his beard hair." It was really
Joe,
long,
that hasn't
too.
happened since a Van Gogh family Christmas. Someone's given a body part as a gift. You're wild over there, the aficionados.
Yes, and I mean it was a joke. Obviously, I did not expect him to use it, but he told me. He said
that Uncle Terry came in with his whole back shaved as a canvas and let him paint on him.
Seth, you should see what Aunt Lorena Bobbitt brought to the party. It was a whole other level. So
we have sort of pranked people. It's that's probably the it's strange. I know it makes it sound weird, but it was funny as hell.
And it's funny.
I remember when I made it and I showed it to my wife and I said, "Look at the paintbrush," and she goes, "Get that thing away from me. That is disgusting." My daughter was like, she found it funny, but she's like, "That is gross, Dad." I was like, "Of course it's gross. That's the point."
That's the joke, right?
Conceptually, she can appreciate it.
Yeah. Right.
So that was the year that we did that kind of thing. But we've had so many themes over the years, and we've had some of them have been really great gifts. Tony, you want to think of there's a few of them that I think that are probably really good.
The one year that I recall, and it's probably because it was my theme that got picked. And my themes hardly ever get picked because everybody usually writes like a word of gift baskets, and sometimes they'll put like 2 words. Mine are usually like paragraphs. I write like a paragraph theme. Like they're usually really abstract too. Like but the one year I got picked was the toy that got away. So the toy that you like always wanted as a kid but never got for Christmas.
Okay.
And that was really
for me
fun.
it's a hair paintbrush. That's what I've always wanted.
Okay, I'll start growing.
Okay.
Make a note of that.
Yeah, make a note. Okay, so the toy that got away, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, are you
really
able
fun.
to ask the person for hints when you have this theme?
So that was one that did require like all of us to kind of sit down and like reminisce about toys, because like we all sort of realized after I put it in there, I was like, this is a great idea because we're all going to get toys. It's going to be fun. And then we all thought like, oh wait, we don't know each other enough to like remember that kind of stuff. So we all had to sort of sit down and talk, and that was fun.
Well, what were people getting? What were you? Because I couldn't even imagine.
So I remember Joe's wife got a New Kids on the Block board game.
Oh, okay. We've heard about her. Her affinity for the New Kids.
We've heard about that. Yeah, that's. Yeah, we don't talk about that. No. We don't.
She's gonna leave me one day. We all know it. Yeah.
For Jordan.
For Jordan.
Could be worse people to leave you for.
All right. By the way, this is something we can't post online, but I just sent you a picture for you guys to take a look at the day that he opened the gift of the paintbrush. So check your phones.
See. Is this after he realized? So let me explain what's going on. I'm looking at the picture, lovely tree in the background. Is this when he realized what the paintbrush is, or he doesn't know yet and he just thinks it's a paintbrush?
No, he's starting to discover, and that's his wife who's behind him, who's starting to discover. Yeah, so we can't post this picture, but I just wanted to make sure you guys see. Tony, this is the one I sent you.
That is hilarious.
That is the paintbrush.
He's testing out the bristle strength on the box.
Yeah,
it looks like his wife noticed pretty quick, at least in this picture. He's still admiring it, and she's like, "Oh, is that what that is?"
Yeah, that's a great picture. Okay, you said we can post that, right? Because I'm post.
If you want to crop them out, that's cool, and use the paintbrush. That's fine. Yeah,
it's already got 30 likes.
Yeah, exactly. It's our most popular post. So, Seth, let me ask you, what are you thinking of this theme? Is this something you might try to do this year to implement with Mrs. X's family? Because the show is all about your journey, Seth. What do you think about a theme?
I know they have some traditions in place and things like that, but this would be, I like the kind of preemptive thing for next year. So it's something you definitely could introduce. Get everybody sitting around if they open up all the gifts and everything. And and it's appropriate to do it on Christmas Day. So
it makes you already thinking forward to the next Christmas too, which is fun. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Should we do that, Seth? Should we do that within our own family? Like start a new tradition, like the cousins do it, or with our kids?
That would be kind of cool. Absolutely. I mean, if
you save a ton of money by doing it this way, because it's buying one gift. And then what's fun about the Christmas morning is, we all have kids. They as soon as we all go to my parents' house sometime in Christmas morning, they all open up everything super quick, and then they go run and they leave. And then it's just the 6 of us and my parents and maybe my uncle, who sometimes will show up, and then we'll open these gifts in front of everybody one at a time and get a fun story. It's a fun event. It's the best part. It's actually truthfully the best part at this point, because, all of our kids are older now. So they're not, it was cool when they were real little kids and they would open up presents. But now we have like something to look forward to. And it's always interesting to see who comes up with something, who puts a thought into something. Because sometimes, because I love all my sister-in-laws, but they sometimes half-ass it because they really don't want to do it. And sometimes they do. It just depends on if they feel inspired. Like I have received over the years, one of my favorites came from Tony. He gave me a custom-built Brady Bunch Lego set. Where it has
custom built. It was already pre-built, or you build it?
He built it.
Confused.
He
built it for you.
Yes. Not an official set. I customized it.
How do you do that? How do you do that? Could you order it from Lego? You make it? I'm so confused.
Yeah. So Lego has pick a brick. So you can on Lego.com or on the Lego store. So you can do what's called a pick a brick, where you just pick out the bricks that you need and the parts that you need, and they'll either mail it to you, or if you go to the Lego store, you can get a little cup and you put them in the cup. I think it's like $8 in the store, but if you do it, and then it's per brick online.
You had to envision what bricks were needed to make this Brady Bunch set first, and then customize and fill in what bricks. What do you have to? Yeah. I mean, this is.
I just sent you a picture of it.
Oh, really?
It's not the house. Don't get excited. Like, it's not the house. The house would have been required, but it's main. It's the main credits.
That is great.
I'm looking at the picture right now. It's the squares, the 9 squares.
Yep.
And I see Cousin Oliver is in there in the lower right. The dog.
That is just funny.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
You see that picture, Seth?
Yeah, no, I was looking at that. That's Cousin Oliver in the bottom outside of the grid.
Awesome. John Denver. It's one of them, right?
Yes, yeah.
You guys, the aficionado set, they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, they are.
You know what we would do with our theme? We'd always be like, our theme this year is the dollar store. And it would just be like, the easiest thing. Our theme this year is pizza. Yeah, I don't think we could do it, Seth. And plus, Seth, Anthony, I don't know if you know of Seth's background, but he's extremely wealthy. So his theme might also be like Concorde airplane. And they're like, Seth, this isn't like, we can't get you gold bullion. Like, it's not, he's not in that same stratosphere. So
French Chateau.
Right, exactly.
You have to set a price limit. I think we do $45, I think. Still.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
not thousand.
Another gift that I got. I think one year we did food as a theme, and so anybody that knows me knows my favorite food is a hoagie. just a giant hoagie. Like
Which is Pennsylvania
hoagie.
word for a submarine sandwich.
Submarine sandwich. Yeah. It's called hoagies in Western Pennsylvania over here.
Yeah.
So how many times do you get a hoagie for Christmas? So my sister-in-law Jill, that is me, and I just sent you a picture. She made me a hoagie, and I had a hoagie on Christmas morning. And
it's like 9:30 in the morning.
9:30 in the morning. I'm eating this hoagie, and she made it, and it was one of the best Christmas gifts I ever got. I love it. Yeah,
that is really funny. Wow.
Yeah, it was. Okay. That was the theme of like, I don't know if it was like homemade or like something that you make. Like we had to make the gifts that year.
Yeah.
Right.
And why don't you tell them about your one year where you got the basket of food? I think that was another one that we had.
Did you get? Is that a hoagie, by the way, from Chiloni's over on Napier Boulevard? Is that where that is?
I think the bread came from there.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yeah. And it's called Saloni's.
Oh, Saloni's. Okay.
No, but she had to make it because it was the theme said like something that you make, so she had to actually make it. She couldn't just go to the.
So Christmas morning,
she had to get the bread right. Wow.
So Christmas morning, Christmas morning, she put the hoagie together. Because you have to be fresh, we can't give a 2-day-old hoagie. That would be crap, so
right. Wow.
Yeah.
But with all these
hoagie hero. Yes, sir.
I say with all these themes, like we're talking about the containers and all these, do they have to be a Christmas themed thing? So I don't know. It's
you got a hoagie set.
Adele on the hoagie or something. It's a little ridiculous, but we were talking about the containers or something. Like it has to have like a Christmas tree on it, or it's just whatever the theme is. You go with that. It doesn't have to have any connection to.
Correct.
We've had Christmas theme ones. We had one year, I believe, we had Christmas foods or Christmas something. It was very something. We've done so many years. We forget about half the stuff that we got. But the one year that was great was that. Oh, it was the year where it was the food where it was the basket for where you would want to go on vacation, or you would want.
I think that's the Dalmatian coast. I know your family's themes.
Yes.
So I received a basket from Hawaii because I always loved it. I've gone to Hawaii and that was my favorite vacation spot.
You didn't wear that tiki necklace, did you, Joe?
I did not. But I didn't go surfing, so it was I beat that. So,
good. Okay.
But anyways, Tony received a basket from Germany. Okay. Which, Tony, you want to tell your story?
Sure. So, it was a basket of things from Germany, and it was mainly a beer boot. I should have brought it, that big glass beer boot with some really good German beer in it. And I'm not like the biggest drinker, but I was like, oh, German beer, this looks great. I'll have one at lunchtime. Well, German beer, you don't mess around with it. Like, especially me, I'm kind of a lightweight, super lightweight. Like, and this was like, I think it was like 9% alcohol, because you think like an American beer, usually 4 or 5%, not a big deal. But this was like basically like 2 beers. And so I was like hammered at lunchtime. I was just like, oh my God, what is this? What is I don't even remember like the name of it, but it was just like I was drinking it like a normal American.
Right, like it's like a Miller or something. Yeah.
So
and you had to go work afterwards?
Well, not on Christmas, no, but
this is Christmas and you had it lunch. I thought you had like a week later or something.
No, it was Christmas Day and I was like, oh, thanks for the beer. Oh, we're having lunch. Let me crack one open. And then I was
all right.
I was just,
he was very, 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 very.
Yeah, it was like,
we'll say
the gravy.
We'll say it made a very
German.
It made a very entertaining Christmas morning.
Yeah. Well, our family's from Germany, so I guess it all works at all.
It made sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is. I love that. I love this whole tradition. That's a fun one. So, you really couldn't talk about this on the initial episode because that was about more your youth and the Christmases, and we covered that. Anthony, did you hear Joe's episode? Because obviously you're in it.
Yes, I did, because that was he told about the year of the rocking horse, which is
Yes, the giant rocking horse.
The giant rocking horse here. And it's funny because I have been sort of writing a book about the
Trojan War.
No, the Trojan War. That's my next book next year. Well, I've been writing a book about like childhood in the 80s, and I was writing about that so I listened to it to see like if we remembered our facts. I think we were. Yeah,
so and actually, I didn't talk about the rocking horse on the Christmas Cousin podcast. I talked about that on the Christmas Morning podcast.
But you did mention it, I thought, or maybe I thought.
No, I didn't really mention it because I wasn't sure about the story when you asked when I first did the episode with you, Chad. I wasn't sure about the details, and I wasn't sure how much my mom wanted actually me to talk about that. Then I
heard it on Christmas Morning too, and saw the picture they posted. Yeah.
And so for people who had not listened to Christmas Morning podcast, my dad essentially bought it's pretty much a 6 feet tall, 8 feet long rocking horse for my mom for Christmas one year. It was a display at Kaufman's department. Kaufman's department store, which was a department store here in the Western Pennsylvania area. I think it actually made its way outside of Western Pennsylvania, but for the most part, he bought this horse because my mom said, "Oh, that would be nice to have," just casually saying that. So my dad, who here's same thing with me. I guess I take after him with hearing my brother Mike say, "I want to have a beard. I want your beard to be my paintbrush." Said, "Yeah, I'm going to buy that rocking horse," and he did. He talked with them, got them to give him a good deal. Him and his friend drove a truck, and they put it in the back of this pickup truck and drove it on the highway back to where we lived. And it was rocking back and forth, and people were just like looking at him like they were crazy. Christmas Eve night, they brought it into the house. They had to take the doors off the front door because you can't get it in without taking the doors off. And then they had it in there. And the Christmas morning, I clearly remember running downstairs, like going, "Oh my gosh, look at the presents," and then turning my head to the right and seeing this giant rocking horse sitting in front of our fireplace.
They had a tarp over it.
Yeah, tarp.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And
how old were you guys at this time?
This was 88,
80,
I think.
86.
Okay, so I was 11, and Tony was probably 9, and our youngest brother was probably 6. So, and so I remember my mom ripped it open, and she said to my grandmother, "Oh my God, he bought me that horse." Yeah. And
is really
it's still at my parents' house. Like it, we joke,
but you can't get it out.
That's true. We do joke about who's going to eventually inherit this horse because, I mean, it's in the family. It's going to be hard to ever get rid of. When our parents pass away. So the running gag in our family is that one day, if my mom passes first, my dad's going to show up on Tony's door with the horse because he wasn't around when Mike and I decided that's how it was going to work.
Right.
So Anthony's doing everything to keep her well and healthy. Right. So just so that doesn't happen. That makes sense. Well, I love this. I do. I think bringing this up is great because this is a tradition, not as a youth, but that you brought into more as older. It's keeping the siblings together. It's making new memories instead of just rehashing them when you're younger. Seth, I think you should think about implementing this with Mrs. X's family. That would be fun. Yeah, maybe we could do something. I'm inspired. I think people who are listening, this is something totally unique and different to the Aficionado family. If you think you would do it or have something similar, let us know. ChristmasCousinsPod@gmail.com or @ChristmasCousinsPod or the Christmas Aficionado on YouTube or @Christmas_Aficionado on Instagram, I believe. Something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah. So that's what he never knows, something like that. But we'd love to hear from you. So I think this is a fantastic story. I had no idea. I wouldn't have guessed it. And I'm glad you guys keep it going because obviously it's just something that you never know what's going to happen. Is it going to be ridiculous one year, sincere one year? What memories will you have from it? Obviously, good gifts you remember, like the hoagie, and then the more gag gifts like the beard brush, which
and we, like I said, we didn't get into all the details, but there have been some times where we've had some really great gifts. My brother, who's a painter, actually painted a picture of Tony's son. For 1 year, it was a painting, and so now, of course, every year, Tony's wife Ann says, "Let's make sure it's homemade, and let's make sure that Mike gets me because they still have another son.
Another kid.
That's fun. So they all want it.
Yeah, and we all do. There, it's always been. It's for the most part, it's been more. We try to focus on who the person is and trying to get something that they will truly love. And once in a while, you get a hairbrush, paintbrush.
Right.
And sometimes the themes are really fun and thoughtful, like the toy that you always wanted. And then other times there was one that was just booze. You remember that? Remember the booze year?
That was a good Christmas. I think actually Tony's wife came up with that one. I think it was booze. Yeah,
she probably did. Sounds like her MO.
And we all gave each other booze, and we all started drinking. And my mom was very upset about that. So,
well, Joe, I'm sending you a picture. Speaking of booze, you would like this if you can find it. You can taste it on air with us. The new pumpkin spice wine cocktail. So I found that. You're welcome to go to Trader Joe's and try to find it. Make it.
I actually have to head to Pittsburgh tomorrow. I know that I'm going to drive by the Trader Joe's, so I will check it out. Although if it has alcohol in it, you can't buy it in Pennsylvania. That's
really?
Trader Joe's. They don't have the liquor license. If you remember, we talked about how.
Yeah, they don't do that in Jersey either, right? But yeah.
So
I'm in the South.
I'll stop by. I'll see if I can find something because I've never been to Trader Joe's. We only have like one. So
report back. Get some stuff. You should try the oatmeal mush that Seth cannot stand.
The overnight is that the overnight oats? Is that what it's called?
Pumpkin overnight oats right by the eggs.
We could do a special episode where I'll eat them in front of Seth and see what happens.
Yes.
I'll eat something disgusting.
Let's make that happen. Anthony, if you didn't see that on YouTube, I am tasting a Trader Joe's taste test where I'm trying pumpkin overnight oats, and Seth is in Chicago across the country through a Zoom camera, whatever we're using, a web camera. And he's gagging, and it is the funniest thing. It's on the I think I put on our Instagram the clip. It's really funny.
Yeah, it was on Instagram. It was on Instagram a minute after you guys filmed it.
Exactly. My wife said she's never heard me laugh that hard.
I had tried it. I had tried it the year before. Actually, tried the pumpkin, and it was just. I mean, it's a little easier to just kind of take a little taste, and
it's our family tradition, Seth, trying to get each other to throw up. They're such a more sincere family than we are. So much more lovely, really.
A lot more thought and sentiment behind it.
Seriously, because I'd be like, okay, Seth, this year's theme is milk and orange juice combined with butter.
Right.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
So your first
from sardines and maple syrup last year.
Here it is. If you guys do a Cousins theme gift exchange, Chad, yours has to be Trader Joe's foods that Seth hates, and that's your theme. There you go.
Yeah, easy. That's an easy one. Yeah.
Okay. And so now
everybody
gets Seth a gift of food that he hates, and then you can try it on air.
Yeah. Seth, you're supposed to find out food I hate. Have you done any work on that? Any legwork? Any homework? Finding out things I hate.
Things you hate?
Remember Joey asked you to find out food I hate.
I mean, like a pickled pig's feet, maybe. I would think like that'd be pretty repugnant.
Joe's suggestion was reaching out to cousin wife Leslie and asking her.
You should.
It's yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go deeper inside.
Yeah,
you just got a bone to pick with you.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yes, get someone else who would know. But
this is good because the theme sort of brings out the kid in everybody because it does make us very young. Like our mom takes charge of the thing and she passes out the names, and it does make us kind of feel like kids again. It kind of brings some excitement about.
And in fact, 10 minutes before we started this, I texted my mom. I called my mom and I said, "Can you tell me what the themes are and who has who?" Because half of us could remember what we
That's
chose.
funny.
Our
It is
wives
good.
can't remember. Let's be.
Yeah, let's be that's
They
true.
never remember. They're always like, "Who do
That's
I am?"
funny. But it
I
is
like
cool.
that.
You're right that your mom's running the show still, and that's
She
her
runs.
boys doing it. That's a really cool thing, and that's it's something. Yeah, I love it. It is a really great tradition. You guys, I haven't heard it from anybody else. It's certainly a unique tradition, and I do thank you guys for sharing it with us very much. And Anthony, thank you for being on your first episode. Joe will tell you we may be calling you tomorrow to be on a separate episode. So stay
They're gonna
tuned.
call you.
Right.
Oh no! Well, it's
That's
great
right.
they'd be here, and of course, I had to be here to fact check Joe because
Exactly. Yes.
I-
We have to
I-
go back on the
I'm a
other episodes you've
notorious
been on.
liar and just like make up stories.
Well,
left and right.
That's right.
I'm also the family historian in a way. I sort of keep track of the family history
Yeah.
the best I can.
So we have other questions for you. Okay, well, we're going to write some things
Oh
down.
yeah, I can
So-
tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can tell you about the Aficionado family going back to the Civil War because I have diaries, and I went one year.
Really?
Remember, Joe? I did a compilation of Christmases. I pulled all the Christmases from all the diaries, so I can go back. We can go back into history.
This is fascinating. Were you guys like what side are you like descendants of Beauregard? Are you like from South?
No,
Carolina, like
not the South, the
Louisiana?
North.
Oh, okay. You're on the winning side.
Our great grandfather fought for the North. So
Real? What war? What battle?
In Civil War. I don't remember. He was in like the reserves or something, so he was sort of on the fringes of battles. So
just as a non-Christmas topic, Demons of Unrest by Eric Larson is an amazing Civil War book that's came out. Highly recommend. If you haven't read it, fantastic. Oh, Seth, I gave away that I'm literate. Quick, we better end the show.
Oh, no.
I mean, me heard the audio book. Me liked.
It is funny because Tony and I are brothers. We're very different from each other. He is nowhere near the Christmas enthusiast that I am. And like he's very traditional. I'll start thinking about it after Thanksgiving, maybe, and and then meanwhile all year long that's all I do. So
right. Okay. Well,
and he's asked me to like help give him feedback and collaborate on some videos he's working on, and in July and stuff. I can't do it. I get like I don't know. I like the way you guys do it. It's sort of Christmas is like your center, right? But you're teaching Seth sort of other seasonal delights.
Yes,
as
we
well.
evolve the seasons. Yeah,
I think that's
those seasons don't exist in my world. It's It's Christmas only. So
No, I'm on board with you. The cousins. I like your approach there. That's good.
Thank you. Yes, we do that, and we have that's that way. I got Seth to try Peeps. That's why we had to do that to see how we did with that. That was the main thing. To go
every season's got one. Every holiday, every season.
It's amazing. But Anthony, thank you again. Joe, thank you always for being here. Thanks for sharing your family tradition. I love it. What a lovely family. Maybe Seth, we can get adopted. Seth, thank you for joining tonight. Thank you for fixing your microphone. That was fantastic.
Happy to do it. And my volume got better.
It really was. It was great. Thank you. Everybody check Joe out, Christmas Aficionado on YouTube. Anthony's just here for fun, not to plug anything. Check out Cousin Seth on the Forbes 500 list, and you could reach out to us at Christmas Cousins Pod or ChristmasCousinsPod@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody. Now we dance. Oh, there's the theme.